So, to come up with an equation for this, a couple things I want to consider. I'm noticing that this kind of looks like a sine graph that's been shifted down for, because it's going through this point right here. If it was back in like a standard position, it would be going through the origin, and we know sine graphs start at the origin and go up, whereas cosine graphs start up at 1 and come down, because of the unit circle and all that other work we've done. So what am I noticing about this graph? I'm seeing, if I trace through repeat, like where does it start to repeat? I'm seeing it repeats in two units. And I can kind of look the other way, and there are those nice, neat points to go with the period being 2. Now, if I try to thinking about this as a cosine graph, you might be able to see that's 2, but because it's not crossing at a lattice point, these grid lines, that's kind of a tough one to call, and we can make it off. But boy, those are nice, rock solid, the safe way to go. So I'm going to say that the period is equal to 2. And since I've got to come up with a function for this, I know in order to find the b number in our equation, I have to take that standard period for cosine and divide it by the period for this graph, and that leaves me that the b number will be just pi. I don't see a left-right shift here, so because it's right on that y-axis, so I'm not going to worry about a left-right shift, a phase shift. But it is shifted down 4, so I know that k number, or whatever letter you want to use for it, that's the vertical translation, is -4. Then let's see, the amplitude we got to worry about. So this is going up to -1, down to -7, so that's a total distance of 8. So you can think of, there's a formula somewhere. If you do the max minus the min divided by 2, and then take the absolute value of that, that's how you can get the amplitude with a no. That's a no frill. It's a guaranteed way to do it. For this one, if we think about it this way, I'm going to have a max of -1, a minimum of -7 over 2, and that of course becomes what? 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3. Now, we could maybe see that here, that this peak is 3 units above that midline and 3 units below that midline. So, I think it's another way to do it. Let's see, so we've got the amplitude, we get the period, we've got the phase, no phase shift. I've got the midline. I guess I never specifically said that the midline is equal to the y equals -4. So now let's write an equation. I think it's a sine graph, I said. So f of x or y equals, let's see, amplitude's 3 sine of, the b number was pi x minus 4. And that's what I'm thinking the equation this line is, or curve is.